Alright people, I'm back. I'm washing my work attire clothes. A lot of times when you do work attire or when you work, you have to wash your clothes because I'm working in a high class environment, and when you work in a high class environment, you do not get the luxury of sitting on your ass and thinking that it's okay to just look any kind of way to work. Got to be professional. Today's YouTube video is going to be another sex game video. This one's going to be nice and interesting. It's going to be talking about self-improvement, because a lot of guys behind the scenes be bitching and complaining about they can't get no women, or as they would say in the hood, the bitches and the hoes, motherfucker. And you see what I have to explain to a lot of you beta male men who be bitching and complaining about women in general is that y'all don't self-improve yourselves. See, self-improvement is not just about how many women you can get, how much sex you can get from a woman, or how many women you can have sex with. That's not what self-improvement is. Self-improvement is a way of life. You know how they say it's a lifestyle? Well, self-improvement is a lifestyle. It ain't just how can I self-improve with women. It's about how can I self-improve in 7 to 8 categories. Now, there's a lot of men who complain that when they graduate from high school and college and they go into the real world and they get a job, all of a sudden they see women from their past. Remember that YouTube video that I made? Washed up women, sex with washed up women, sex with women from your past. Remember those 2 videos? Even the ones where I talk about stop being a nice guy and to be friends or not to be friends with women. I made those YouTube videos, and I made all of those YouTube videos for a reason. There are videos that were already made on my old Alexander Oden channel, and so on my new Alexander channel, I have to take some of those old videos, some of those old classic videos, and remake them all over again. Because some of y'all don't like to watch old ass videos. You like to watch the newest videos, and I wish you people would go to my old YouTube channel, Alexander Oden and Alexander #2 show, and watch the original content so you can understand some of the more newer content videos. But it is what it is. Some people will go to those channels. Some of those people will refuse to go to those channels. It is what it is. A lot of y'all get tired of women fat and out of shape. You get tired of women coming to you, they're 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, and that's all you get. You even get sick and tired of women coming back to you when they hit the wall at stage 1 and stage 2. Meaning you don't like the fact that she's 30 years old, 35, 40, 45, 50. Or she could be 60 years old. A lot of y'all don't like that. Then y'all don't like the fact that she has kids. You know, all the Chads and Tyrones that she was messing with in high school and college, she had kids by Chads and Tyrones. You know, they're not your kids, they're some other man's kids. You know, so scenario number 1 is you get women that are fat and out of shape that are from 200 to 500 plus pounds. Scenario number 2 is they're old enough to be your mother or your grandmother. A lot of you guys don't like that. Scenario number 3 is she has kids, but they're from the Chads and the Tyrones, and you don't like that bullshit. And then there's scenario number 4, she's ugly. She used to be beautiful, but she's ugly. And then there's scenario number 5, where on an occasion you get a somewhat attractive woman, but she either used to have a reputation for being a slut, or she used to be a slut, one or the other. So those are the 5 scenarios you get. And you see, if you don't want to wait 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, or extreme cases, 25 to 30 years later, and all of a sudden these women that you went to high school and college just magically reappear and show up, that's what self-improvement is for. Self-improvement isn't just so I can have sex with all the women in the world or how many women I bang. That's not what it's about. Self-improvement is about self-improving in every category. Like a job, right? A lot of guys complaining when they come to work, their bosses rip into them because their work attire, their dress clothes ain't up to date. Sometimes you might have to go to the store and buy 7 or 8 or 9 white dress shirts so you can stop washing clothes, because after you wash clothes for about 3 months or 6 months, you start to see what they call wear and tear. The clothes start to tear because you wash too much. So at some point, you might have to spend $200, $300, $400, $500 cash to fix your clothes when it comes to going to work. A lot of guys talking about, I want a beautiful, attractive woman in athletic shape. A lot of men be talking about, I want supermodels, I want fitness models, I want booty models, I want actresses, I want to date the news lady. Well, if you're going to try to date the super hot, attractive ass women of this society, you can't be no fat, out of shape man. I'm sorry. You can't be 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pound overweight man talking about, I want a supermodel. Talking about, I want a Hollywood actress, or I want Scarlett Johansson, or I want Jennifer Lawrence. You can't be overweight talking about you want a super hot, attractive woman. That just don't work. You cannot be at McDonald's talking about, I want to holler at Gabrielle Union, or I want to get my Mac on with the girl from the Flash television show. It just don't work that way. You know, so you might have to go to 24-hour fitness. You might have to go to LA Fitness. You might have to go to Gold's Gym, Club Bay, Club Onyx, UFC Gym, LA Boxing Gym. And you might have to pay for a gym membership that might cost you, you know, $35 or $40 or $50 or $60 or $70 or $80 a month if you want to be in the best athletic shape. You might have to go to these gyms so you can get bigger, stronger, faster, and athletic. You want an athletic woman, you got to be in athletic shape. You know, self-improvement ain't just you just trying to get women. It means to self-improve in every category. Instead of you trying to buy cheap quality goods, you might have to go to a Target and buy, you know, some mouthwash that take a month to use up, versus the one where it's gone in 2 weeks. Same thing when it comes to learning how to talk. Some guys don't have very good social skills. You might have to go out to the nightclubs and the bars and learn how to practice talking to women so you can have good social skills. A lot of times when men get rejected, it's because we don't have very good social skills. I've been a victim of it when I was in junior high and in high school. You could be, you know, the nice, handsome, good-looking man and still get rejected because you don't have no social skills. You don't know how to talk. So you have to self-improve in your social skills. When it goes to the gym, you got to improve in your fitness. If you're riding the bus or the train, about 85-90% of the time, women ain't gonna want to be seen on the bus or on the train with you because you ain't got no car, you ain't got no truck, you ain't got no motorcycle. You know, she wants you to have your own transportation, not transportation of a bus or a train, but your own transportation. You might have to go to the DMV and get your driver's license. If you don't have money to buy a car, you can get a rental car. They're gonna know it ain't your real car, but they would prefer that than you riding the bus and the train 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, bitching and complaining that you can't get the bitches and the hoes, motherfucker. So you gotta self-improve. If you live in an apartment, you might want to get a house in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years from now. You're going to get tired of renting in an apartment. You're going to want a house. At some point, you're going to get tired of taking the bus and the train, and you're going to want a car, a truck, or a motorcycle. Bicycle don't count. You got to self-improve yourself. When someone self-improve themselves, they graduate from the next level to the next level to the next level. If you are so serious about getting super hot, attractive women, then you gotta work your ass off. You gotta be willing to pay the price. You gotta be willing to work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days. You gotta be willing to pay the price for success. You don't just go to sleep and then you wake up 24 hours later and all of a sudden you're successful. No, there's a process that takes place. There's some things you got to go through. There's some things you have to experience. You're going to have some good experiences. You're going to have some bad experiences. There are going to be days where you want to punch your hand through a wall because 1 minute self-improvement is easy, and the next minute self-improvement is a problem. There are going to be some days where you want to give up and quit, and there's some days where you're motivated and you can do it. I mean, I'm just trying to explain to you in this video about self-improvement. You're going to go through a lot. You're going to go through ups. You're going to go through downs, highs and lows of self-improvement. Now, self-improvement has more advantages than disadvantages. Now, if you're a mentally tough man, you should be able to accept the fact that while you're self-improving yourself, the woman that rejected you in high school and college, she's going to move on and have sex with basketball players, football players, baseball players, R&B singers, rappers, rock stars, actors, filmmakers. You know, she's going to be messing with those men that she finds physically, sexually attractive. And while you're self-improving yourself, there is no timetable on self-improvement. There is no limit. You can self-improve yourself in 5 years. You can self-improve yourself in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Hell, I don't care if it's 25 or 30 years later, you will self-improve yourself. But at some point in life, you have to self-improve yourself. You have to graduate to the next level and the next level and the next level. And you can't be spending all your time and energy focusing on this woman from high school rejected me, this woman from college rejected me, or this girl rejected me at the gym, or this girl rejected me at work. You can't focus on that because there's no such thing of a time machine to go back in time to when you were in high school and college and tell your 20-something self not to make those mistakes. Once those mistakes have been made, they've been made. Now, the only thing that you can and you will do is learn from those mistakes so they don't ever happen ever again. Now, let's get to the best part of self-improvement. A lot of men think that if they self-improve themselves, that they will most definitely get the girl that rejected them in high school and college. Not true. A lot of times when you self-improve yourself, you're going to actually self-improve yourself for the next woman. So let's say, for an example, you get rejected by a black woman or a white woman or a Mexican woman or an Asian woman because you don't have a car. Well, it could be 5 years later, it could be 10 years later that when you do get a car, the next woman is not going to reject you because she sees you have a car. See, self-improvement prepares you to become better at every category. So if you want to make more money at your job, instead of working 8 hours, you might have to work 10 to 15 to maybe 20 hours if you want to make more money. So you self-improve yourself at work. You go to the gym, you get bigger, you get stronger, you get faster. You self-improve yourself in the gym. When it comes to your clothes at work, you know, you might have to spend $200, $300, $400, $500 and get some new clothes and some new shoes because you don't want people thinking you're poor. You don't want to have people say you're broke and you ain't got no money because you wear the same clothes. You know, that's bad. People think, oh, he ain't got no money, he broke. So you have to self-improve when it comes to clothes and shoes. Your social skills. When women reject men, a lot of times you could be physically, sexually attractive. You can have a house or an apartment. You can have a car. You can have 2 jobs, 3 jobs. You can have 4 jobs. And 85 to 90% of the time, you can still get rejected just because you don't have no social skills. Doesn't matter if you're a black man, a white man, an Asian man, a Latino man. Doesn't matter if you're from Russia or from Germany. Doesn't matter if you're from planet Mars. You can get rejected just because you don't know how to talk to women. That's why I made a YouTube video called Intelligence versus Social Intelligence. And I made that video for a reason. This is a self-improvement video. When you get rejected by a woman, just remember this. While you're off self-improving yourself, you get better, she gets worse. Because by the time she hit the wall, at stage 1 or stage 2, she will have nothing to offer while you have a lot to offer. And while she having sex with Chad and Tyrone, her sexual V-market value is going to slowly drop. And as you self-improve yourself, your sexual V-market as a man is slowly going to make its rise. And you see, by the time it's 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, or in extreme cases 25 to 30 years later, you're not going to find most of the women that you went to high school and college with. You're not going to find them physically, sexually attractive. They're just going to be what they call pump and dump. And I already made a YouTube video about pump and dump. But they ain't that video. This is a self-improvement video. Now, for the first 2 to 3 years, in some cases 5 years, or even 7 years, close to 10 years, you're going to be doing a thing called dumpster diving. Now, dumpster diving is a term that gets used on the internet where you're going to have sex with women that you don't find physically, sexually attractive. Women you would never take out to lunch and dinner. Women you would never call your girlfriend. Women that you need, it's like what Tom Leykis said, use older women and fat women as batting practice. That's what dumpster diving is. The reason why I say the first 2 to 3 years, because the first 2 to 3 years that you get a car, you're not going to get super hot, attractive women right off the back. Because these women are already dating guys that already had a car before you got one. So that's the reality of it. A lot of times you're going to have sex with fat women, 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds. You're going to get women old enough to be your mother or grandmother. You're going to get some women that are 35 years old, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 years old in your car. And people be laughing at you because you got women old enough to be your mother or grandmother, and those are the only women that are available to take out to lunch and dinner. You want the women that are from the ages of 18 to 29, but you're getting women from the ages of 35 to 65 years old available. If you don't date older women or fat women, then you got women with kids. Then you got, she used to be beautiful, but she's ugly. And a lot of times when you get a car, if you can get a somewhat attractive woman, she's probably either has a reputation for being a slut, or she used to be a slut. That's called dumpster diving. Now, at some point, once it's 5 years later, 10 years later, or 15 years later of self-improvement, you don't have to date those type of women no more. Because once you have evolved, once you made it to the next level, you're going to start physically, sexually attracting women from the ages of 18 to 29. You're going to get what they call the next generation of women. And you're not going to have to settle no more. Now, unless you want to just smash leftovers or women that are available, then you watch my other YouTube video, Women Have Sex with Players. I made a video about what's the difference between guys that want to be in relationships and guys that just want to be players and just smash. So I already made that into a video. So self-improvement is a state of mind. Self-improvement is about getting better in every category. In the gym, at work, at school. Sometimes you have to put in some sacrifice. Sometimes if you're in school and you're going to college, you might have to pass all your classes. And there might be some days where you can't go to the movies, you can't go to the mall, you can't hang out with your friends, because self-improvement helps you get to a better level. Self-improvement helps you get other women's attention. It makes other women think that you got a strong work ethic. Now, the women that reject you, the only time a woman rejects you, notice your self-improvement, is in a short timetable. The shortest timetable on self-improving yourself and having women that reject you notice it is usually after 2 years. 2 to 3 years is like the shortest timetable. The longest timetable is like 5 years, 7 years, almost close to 10. In some special cases, 10 to 15 years can be the longest timetable for self-improvement. But I already told you in the beginning of this video, there is no timetable on self-improvement. It could be 5 years later, it could be 10 years later, it could be 15, it could be 20 years later, hell, it could be 25 to 30 years later, you self-improve yourself. But at some point, you have to self-improve yourself. It's like playing basketball and football. How did some of the greatest athletes in the world become great at their sport? How did Kobe Bryant become the greatest professional basketball player to win 5 NBA championships, have his own statue, wrote 4 books, and is in the NBA, and will soon be in the NBA Hall of Fame, which he already is? By practicing. The more you practice, the better you get. The more you advance from one level to the next level, the easier it gets. Men who self-improve themselves are able to take women out to lunch and dinner. Men who self-improve themselves get laid 85 to 90% of the time. Now, that don't mean you're going to get supermodels. That don't mean you're going to get fitness models, booty models. That don't mean you're going to get actresses. That doesn't mean you're going to get the news lady. What that means is you're going to get more women than you would have got if you didn't self-improve yourself. There are a lot of YouTubers who are talking about self-improvement. So this is a self-improvement video that pertains to going to school, going to work, going to the gym, and then of course trying to learn how to get women. If you're bad at social skills, you might want to hang out with someone who has good social skills so you can self-improve your social skills. If you're terrible at being in athletic shape, you might want to go to the gym and have a partner to help you get into athletic shape. You can't be 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds talking that bullshit, I want a supermodel or I want an actress, and you fat and out of shape. Athletic men date athletic women. Athletic women date athletic men. Now, there are some rules to the exception. There are times where you might be 200 pounds and a woman might let it slide because you have a house or an apartment. So you get off from that technicality. There are times where you have a car and you're 300 pounds, but because you have a car, the girl let it slide. You may have 2 jobs and you don't have no house and no car, but because you have 2 jobs, the woman might make an exception. There are rules to the exception, but that doesn't mean every single woman is going to feel sorry for you because you have some bad misfortune. You can change your misfortune by doing self-improvement. The shortest timetable on self-improvement is 2 to 3 years. The longest is like 5 to 7 years, sometimes 10 to 15 years being the longest. But like I told you, there is no timetable on self-improvement. So for those who believe in self-improvement, will actually make it to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And the ones who don't want to self-improve themselves, the ones who want to bitch and complain 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, keep on bitching and complaining, and then don't get nowhere. And then you be on the bus, on the train saying, man, I wish I had that 2019 Maserati or that Mercedes Benz. Keep on bitching and complaining. Guys who self-improve themselves, they don't bitch and complain. They just do what the Nike commercial said, just do it. Okay, there are going to be some days where self-improvement is easy. There are going to be some days where self-improvement is complicated. There are going to be days where you want to do self-improvement. There are going to be some days where I don't want to do self-improvement. Now, can you take a break from self-improvement? The answer is yes. Maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months, take a self-improvement break, and then go right back at it again. It's work. That's all self-improvement is work. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. What you need to understand before I finish this video is always remember this when it comes to self-improvement. There is always someone watching you. There is always somebody from a far distance that's watching your every move, good and bad. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There is some black woman, some white woman, some Mexican woman, some Asian woman that you have never seen, that you have never met, is watching your every single move. There is a woman watching you when you get a job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. There is a woman watching you when you say, I want to get my own business, my own company. There is a woman watching you when you go to the gym to get bigger, stronger, and faster. There is a woman in college watching you pass all your classes. There are women watching you in general. Some of them are good women. Some of them, unfortunately, are bad women. But 99.99% of the time, there are women watching you self-improve yourself. Now, just because there are women watching you, that don't mean all women are going to right off the bat just hand you the phone number and the panties and you're all good. No, you're still going to have to do the stuff that you always have been done. You're still going to have to demonstrate that you're a man. You're still going to have to demonstrate that. You're still going to have to do all of the rituals of self-improvement. So always remember, there's always someone watching you. And it don't matter what city and state. Now, can women from high school and college watch you as well? The answer is yes. So before people start putting in the comment section, what about this and what about that? The answer is yes. So just self-improve yourself. And the guys that don't like to self-improve themselves, it's okay. But don't be complaining on a bus or on a train why you're not getting nowhere. People who get somewhere self-improve. It might take a long time, but by the end of the day, when you get the female attention without asking for it, without begging for it, it feels much better. Versus you gotta keep on begging and asking for attention when women just pay you attention. Which is better? Women who just pay attention without you asking for it, or you begging women to pay attention? Which is better? Self-improvement will make it to where women just pay you attention and you're not begging for the attention. That's the difference between winners and losers. That's the difference between an alpha male and a beta male. Alpha males do whatever it takes to win by any means necessary. A beta males, all they do is bitch and complain about how life sucks and how terrible life is and don't ever want to do nothing about it. So that's the difference. But remember the golden rule about self-improvement. There is always somebody watching you. You may not think no one's watching, but there's always somebody watching you. There's always some black woman, some white woman, some Mexican. Someone's always watching. You get a car, trust me, there's some women that they're going to see you get a car. It may not be the women you find physically, sexually attractive, but it's going to be women nevertheless. You get a house or an apartment, there are women watching. You get 2 jobs or 3 jobs, there's women watching. You buy new clothes or new shoes, there are women always watching. Always remember that. You remember that one rule about self-improvement? You will always advance to the next level, and the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And the ones who refuse, there is a place for you to go when you refuse to do self-improvement. It's called Midtown. And I'm not trying to knock on Midtown. I'm just trying to explain to you what happens to those who don't self-improve, and I'm trying to explain to you on those who do self-improve. Until next time, peace.